boys. Today we have Taden Williams and his Swordsoul Tenyi deck profile, which he used to get first place at the Canberra Regionals last weekend. And we'll jump into this just after a word from our sponsors.
And now, a quick shout out to our sponsors. The first one being GRAAD, the best grading company in Europe, which offers grading services for all languages and TCG. The second one, EXTIMATE-CARDS, is one of our top Italian sellers on the market, which shop is in Albenga, where you can eat and play with your mates every single day. Then, SCROLLANDLOCK Gaming, the safest place where you can play online tournaments for money, cards, custom products, and whatever you might need. Last but not least, we have Playmat per Tutti. They produce amazing custom playmats that may have your own custom images. All sponsor links are in the description down below.
Well, the regional was 8 rounds, and I went undefeated in Swiss, and then in Top Cut only lost once to Invoke Top Anchor. Other than that, the deck performed fairly solid throughout the entire day, and there wasn't too much I wanted to change afterwards. But anyway, we'll go on to the list. So the standard Swordsoul lineup, which is the 3 Ecclesia, the 3 Moyi, the 3 Long, and the 2 Tai. As again, this is very standard. I don't think there's much you can change from this lineup.
Yeah, pretty solved at this point.
Yeah, 3 Tai is a bit too bricky, but yeah, there wasn't too much you can change there. And then probably the best part of the deck actually is the Tenyis. So I'm on the 3 Ashina, the 3 Fishuda, and the 2 Adhara. I know for some lists that it's pretty standard to run 2 Fishuda. However, I just wanted to run the 3rd to essentially play better going 2nd. I always started out 1 going 1st. Never want to see multiple copies of it. But, and I know some lists are actually bumping Adhara up to 3, which is probably something that I might test with in the future. But
get that tuner.
Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with this lineup for this list. No
it worked
water.
For you.
It did. Again, first place, but there was no water in the list. I actually cut out the circle for the event because I really wanted to try a vessel. I know people are going back and forth on which is better, and you see most lists nowadays running kind of a split package. But I just felt like in a vacuum, the card was a bit of a neg one.
Yeah.
I just felt like seeing a vessel with a Tenyi was much better than seeing circle with a Tenyi. But we'll talk about that a bit more later. And then the best card of the deck, Protoss. Actually didn't summon it too much today. It was pretty... I started out a lot actually. There was a lot of matchups, especially against Bird.
Really?
It just wasn't as strong. You can't establish a wind in this variant unless you go
getting far. Have you considered running the wind Tenyi with the circle?
It is something to consider, but even if you do call wind, they have so much access into the Tri-Brigade engine as well. There's just so many different elements. But I guess it's really funny actually. We're all out of my 5 games in Swiss was against wind archetypes. There was a Spearoid,
oh yeah, that's right.
Jimmy, 2 Bird up. So the card was pretty horrible throughout most of that, but coming as a top card against Invoked and the Sky Striker especially, the card just won me the game. It needs to go.
Yeah, pretty good.
For sure. Going on to the hand traps, I know this is a pretty flexible thing. I ran the 3 Ash, the 3 Veiler, the 3 Imperm, and then I'll also check in the 2 Chalice in there. I feel like Imperm obviously is staple. It's just the best going 2nd card. You can draw it and still have it be live. I know some lists either play no Veilers and they max out on the Chalice, or they play the droplets instead.
Yeah.
But I felt like having Veiler as an option if your hand's really bad, where you can just summon it with a shooter and Ashina to make a Shijiao is pretty decent. Also too, you can search it off Chowfang, which I didn't actually get to do today, but it's still definitely an option. Also too, I just felt like since the list is 41, I felt like I was going to see more hand traps together, so I felt like Vecvela with an Ash or an Imperm was just going to be a lot stronger. And I know people don't really like droplets in the deck just because you've got to get rid of card advantage, which your resources are very important. But I feel like I do want to put droplets back in just because of how ridiculous that card is.
So what would you do? Would you cut the Charles and Vela, or?
I would probably take out... Usually you only play 9 going second cards. I was pushing it for the 11, but I'd probably take out the Chalice and maybe the Velas, and then put in the droplets. And then I can either run more engine or just cut it down to 40 with a order, which I wasn't playing in the main.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for the hand traps. And then for the spells, Pot of Desires, draw 2. Extremely strong on this list. Nothing really to say there. 3 Emergence, it's the Rhoda, it searches Protos. Also nothing to say there. Now the 3 Vessel, as again I wasn't running the cycle, just going back to what I said before, I just felt like seeing this with the Tenyi was much stronger. Do keep in mind, people do forget this, that you can send any worm monster, so you can kind of fill your grave for a Baxia play.
Dump that MOU.
Yeah, which is super important. But I think going into the future, I do want to put Circle back in, kind of have that mixture. I think people are starting to get it right with having both in, but it was more of a test for the event. And then the last card was the 1 Blackout. I know people's running 2. I can search it when I need it. It does hurt when I banish it off Desires, but
it's not you don't have to have it in there.
No, that's exactly.
You want it sometimes. You want to see sometime.
Yes, sometime, but not
sometime.
all the time. We'll go into the extra. This is probably the most standard thing about the list. The 2 Shigel.
Not Starlight, don't want to see it.
No. The 2 Baxia.
There we go.
Yazi.
That's better.
Yeah, these are nice. There was a few times where Baxia came up.
Really? Only a
2
few?
of them. Oh, well, I mean,
or do you mean a
Dropsing
few
is
times?
ridiculous. Yeah, but,
Do you mean a few times that the second one came?
Yeah,
up?
the second.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, that makes sense.
But there's definitely no need to run 3. And then Yazi, I only summoned it once for the day, I think, but it's still just a good card to have.
Yeah.
And then your Berserker, I mean, it's really important when you are locked into worms, you need it.
I guess the main thing is the 3 flex spots of the X-Deck. So the 3rd Monk. Were you playing 3 Monk?
I was playing 3 Monk.
And yeah, I was going to ask about the Omega.
Yes, and the Omega. The Omega is really important for the Dogmatica matchup, being able to bait the window of the Maximus.
Yeah.
Also to just having that ability to, because instead of playing Dragite, I played the Omega.
Right.
I just felt like Dragite wasn't coming up enough, and it's very niche interaction. It doesn't happen much, but it's something to consider. You can recycle your banished Tenyis.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen during the day, but it's just something to keep in mind. And then to go with this, there was the Shaman. Shaman was really good, actually.
Yeah, Shaman's nuts.
Yeah, this card, just being able to push the board with a monk, or even just being able to summon back either a Modi or a Tai, or even a Synchro, and just pushing the game through that is nuts. And then the last 4, the Chaofeng, super important on the list. The Chenying, this card is also nuts. The amount of times that it just gets massive of Desires, especially in a mirror match or like against Virtual World, or just anything that runs Desires is ridiculous. Baron, of course, the card's nuts, and then Heroes.
Okay.
This card is definitely flex spot. There was a few times that I wanted to summon it, but it was just a game state where even if I didn't summon it, it would have won the game.
Yeah.
It would have been better. So this is definitely a card to consider taking out.
Do you value it over Dragite?
Yeah, I feel like Dragite is either a turn 1 play or just it doesn't come up at all, where this can happen late game. And Deck struggles a little with Phoenix Enforcer, so being able to get with that is super important. Or just any random matchups where they rely on the grave. There wasn't any Drytron that I played yesterday, but that card is also
it's true.
really good.
I have a quick question. Would you consider playing the Blink 3 Tenyi? Like the
I know that's been pretty popular. There wasn't any situations where I would have summoned during the event, but I don't know. It's not for me, but I can understand why people run it though.
Pretty much, yeah. The Ruddy Rose, the Omega spot, and then like kind of the third Monk spot. Those are the most flexible ones. Yeah. Yeah, it is, but if you're playing one of the Hulk packages, then Monk has to go.
Then going on to the side deck, 3 Joel.
Yeah.
This guy was super strong against Bird Up, even against Bird as well. And even there was a Prankins player who's notorious for playing the deck. Even just having this is really good. It slows him down quite a bit. This might be a bit unusual with 2 Nibiru. I was actually considering about not playing this at all, but the more I thought about it, the more I needed it in the list.
So when did this go in?
This was always in the side. I was actually thinking about...
Sorry, no, like what matchups did it go in?
Oh, going definitely against Bird Up. Definitely against Pranks. The Mirror.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's pretty bad against the Votes. Against the Speedroid match,
You always got to be ready for
I
the
don't think it
Speedroids.
came up, but this is really important against it as well. But the reason why I wanted to cut it, or just not play it in the first place, is it conflicts with the Tenyi lineup.
Yeah. Did that happen to you?
Not really. Or if it did, it was a game that I was losing anyway. So
Right.
it's not too much of an issue. But I don't know. I probably will keep it in there just because of how powerful the card is. But it's just something to keep in mind with the Tenyi.
There's a tech thing I'll talk to you about after.
Yeah. So the best hand trap in the side,
Yeah.
I think, is Gamma. This just being such a high impact hand trap against literally anything. At the same time, not conflicting with the Tenyis because they banished you the end phase. And I mean, you never sided in going first, but if you felt like there was a matchup where some of the cards just weren't worth it and wanted to play it.
Have you ever special summoned Bashuda, tribute summoned Driver, special summoned Adhara? Make Yazi. Wait, can you make Yazi? Yazi's generic, right?
Yazi is generic.
Yeah, do it. That's your challenge.
Yes. I'll keep that in mind. It's terrible, but I'll keep that in mind.
It works.
But yeah, no, Gamma was,
Full combo.
Gamma was super important.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't change that. And then 2 Cosmic. I would love to play 3. Can't fit it in unfortunately because of the driver, and I also play the IO on the side.
Yeah.
I took this out of the main. It does nothing going second. There wasn't many Mystic Mind matches or lists floating around the event, so it wasn't as important. Going into an event where I don't really know what I'm up against, it's definitely something to consider. But I'm happy with keeping it in the side. And then with the Cyclones, I needed something to out the Schisms, just another out for Mystic Mine, or even there was a very strong Virtual War player. Even having that against a Chuches or Clemons, super important as well. So
And it doubles up as a side deck against PK, which weren't at the tournament, or at least didn't
very
top.
true. I know some people actually wanting to play Twin Twisters instead of Cyclones just because of how many Floodgates they have set, which is fair.
The deck can play through floodgates.
Sorry?
The deck can play through back row, just not floodgates.
Yeah.
Usually I
that's
find that
exactly
if you open a Cosmic, you just kind of wait until there's a
and
floodgate
it's
you can't play
decent going
through.
first as well if the matchup calls for it.
Yeah.
And then the last card, which was absolutely nuts during the day, was 3D GRAAD.
Right.
So glad this card has come back into the metagame. I love this card so much.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. It's super strong in the mirror. Even if you have an established board in calling synchro, like there's literally nothing that they can do other than a monk and a shaman. And at that point you have either a blackout or follow-up, so yeah, that's fine. Shutting off Exceeds in Bird Up is super important as well. Against a Speedroid player, it actually won the game before time hit. But yeah, no, I'm so happy with this card. I definitely play it for the rest of the format. Definitely wouldn't change that.
Sorry, I have another question. I can see that you're not playing Called by the Grave. Can you give us an explanation about it?
Called by...
Damn, Joel, you want to do this?
Called by... It's either you main it or you just don't play it at all, in my opinion. And I felt like the deck was tight enough, and against the biggest hand trap against the deck, Token Collector doesn't do anything. That's why the chalices are in there. I think something that I would like to fit in the side is either droplets or dark lures, but the only thing that would probably come out for that is Nib.
Yeah.
Nib is just too important at the moment. But we'll see going forward with Brave Tokens, or Brave Adventures as they're now called. We'll see what that kind of does to the side. But yeah, no, overall, really happy with the list. There's not much of a change. And I definitely want to keep testing and keep fine-tuning until I've kind of perfected it.
And now, guys, let's go with Fox list. We have very standard 3 Turquoise Wobbler, 3 Cobalt Sparrow, 3 Burnil, 3 Sapphire, and just 1 Wagtail because you don't really need the second. Then we have the 3 Burkle, obviously standard, 1 Tenyi and 1 for 1. Standard and easy. Then for the Tri-Brigade part, we have standard 1 Keras, 1 Kit, 3 Frac, 3 Nerve, and then the Apex one. Okay. Then we have a very particular choice, the choice of not playing Desire, but the triple tactics talents, because Fox didn't want to banish his cards, and also he wanted a power play by going second, together with the Droplet, which is one of the best cards going second. And for the Entropraetus, we have 3 Imperm, 3 Droll, and the 1 Crow, obviously, you can add it, and then obviously the Imperial Order. Goodbye, see you again, my friend. Then for the deck we have standard Omen, Fargit, Almirage, Off, Simorg, goodbye, Doomeagle, and Access Code. Access Code is not always played, but sometimes it is maybe cut, but Fox chose to play it because he felt like he needed that. 1 Zeus, Downerd, 2 Recital, 1 Nightingale, 1 Robin, obviously the Utopic package. Then for the side deck we have the Gamma package together with the Nibiru, visually, and best entrops in the game at the moment. 3 Cosmic, 1 Reboot for Backrock 8, 1 Collet, because sometimes against turbo entrop decks you need to be sure to resolve your combo and then just hit the win. And then last but not least, the Harpy's Featherstorm, which is survived the ban list. We don't even know why, and it's maybe one of the best traps in the game at the moment. Definitely one of the strongest by far. Yeah. And so for the list, it's over. So thanks for looking at this video, coming to see this list, and see you next time. Stay plus, stay purple.